Clean up on aisle 7, my parents. What? Alright, I think it's just time we just do. I think it's just time, man. Oh my god. Hmm. Damn. Damn, this map hard. Honestly, I'm about to say fuck it and just hit him. Okay, wait, so if I place this shit. Damn, but this isn't. This really is just like,
and then the druid just help out. Really helps out in round 47. Right now I'm finding a place to put the village. So we get the downdraft right there, and then we're going to get the village. Normally I'd recommend to get some discount villages, but in this example I really don't have much space, so we're going to have to do with a limited amount of snipers. Later on I'll put in a screenshot of what like a kind of better setup would look like. You'll just have the discounts with a 032 village, 202 village, and then a bunch more alks, a bunch more 032 snipers. But this one will work out well. Instead, I'd just get a call to arms. Normally, you would want to spend the money, 20k from the call to arms, on a few more 032 snipers and 042 alks. So, anyways, we got the two 032 snipers. I prefer to do this instead of elite sniper pre 63 because it's just a lot more lenient. You can get elite sniper later anyways, so why not just get multiple bouncing bullets right now when it's so much safer to build into. So we get that, we get the L, we get the main Moab, pretty usual. And then I'm going to be getting a 205 elite defender kind of soon. Round 63 there was kind of close, so we glued it, very useful. Could also use like a sharp stone on the bouncing bullets, that would also work too. But basically, this 205 elite sniper, the strategy, very important. That guy stays on first. Even if people tell you you have to put those snipers on strong, that guy stays on first. It's very important because if it's on strong, all those ZOMGs will pop down into a bajillion Moabs and you are going to die. Anyways, with that being said, you might need to use like an item, maybe like a Jerry Fire on round 75 to beat that round, so that round can be a little bit harder, but kind of around like round 78, you should get your elite sniper up, and then you're gonna be good for now. So I'm just gonna grab the elite defender, make sure you keep it on first, also make sure you put that elite sniper back on first, because we'll go on elite targeting. This is kind of like a setup that I'm referencing to. This was from an earlier video, but I just have like a lot more space to work with there, so I get the discounts and I get more snipers. And obviously, just having a whole bunch of snipers is a pretty strong strategy. It's pretty cool. So I get call to arms here just to make up for that like lack of direct damage. And now I'm going to be building a little bit of an ice bridge. Normally, like the ice bridge isn't useful, but for this case, I'm gonna have to. Could get a snowstorm, I guess. It wouldn't really be the first thing that I'd think of getting, because the downdraft is already pretty good ceramic support, and the elite sniper is pretty good cleanup. But we're just gonna be getting that so I can build stuff here. I'm going to get the mob glue. I'm going to get the village down there. And then I'm going to get the camo pot on the stuff. The sharp stones are definitely great on the bouncing bullets. That's kind of like what makes it good. And I'm going to be getting just a bunch of Jerry Fires and stuff. A few mob presses, like about 2 is fine. That's kind of all you need. And then we can just use the genies. You can use like the maelstroms and stuff on, what should we call it? On like round 98 and stuff. I generally would make sure you save a genie for 100, because 100 can be a little bit tricky. The elite defender does do a lot of damage on 100, but particularly on these shorter maps it may not be enough. So doing a 98, 99 genie and then a 99, 100 genie generally is recommended. But with this support and some of the rest of Geraldo's support, round 100 should be pretty chill, like that. And that's really all there is to that. The sniper strategy definitely it got better, but it still is really strong, and that's just an example of his black border on it on a map like Peninsula, which may not be the most friendly to sniper spam. Alright, so for this last example, I'm going to be going over a little bit more of an advanced Chimps Challenge game using the Tech Terrors with Geraldo. Of course, this is definitely a very valid strategy that would work fine for black borders and easier maps, but in this situation, I'm just looking at a bit more of an advanced situation. So for Ouch, I decided to go for the water start, and I wasn't really sure whether to do land or water start in this scenario. It's kind of complicated, and it was a big decision, but I just wanted to make sure that I could stall if I needed to. I ended up not needing to. but that's alright because I had the option to. So I get the sniper, I get the darts, and then I go for Geraldo because I'm going to want to get the early shooty turrets. On ouch like this, you can get good pierce because of these straight lines with the shooty turrets, and you can also put pickle on them to get them good damage. These will beat rounds like round 15, and then you can just sniper micro for the rest of the rounds. And I'm pretty much going to be going in for an early destroyer. One of the kind of mistakes I made up here was that I did not do 1-0 sniper for the leads and instead got hot shots on the boat, which kind of degrades the value of the sharpstone. But that was kind of because I was very scared it was necessary for me to stall in the late game, which as I said I did not. So if I knew that, I would not have done that. On round 24, I did not get camo. Instead, I just used the road spikes for the camo right there. And on 28, we're going to get the hot shots for leads. As I said, this is kind of a mistake that I made a little bit. I cut some damage off of the boat right there. So anyways, that's all. I'm going to reapply the pickle to the shooty turrets to beat round 31, because round 31 generally is a tough round, and then just some micro in general. Then we're going to put the camo potion on the boat there for 33, just so that it can hit camo. And then destroyer here on round 34. So pretty good, that's a pretty early destroyer. I did not discount it or anything, because I did not really feel like that. But from here, we still are kind of weak to that one lane, so I'm going to have to do some sniper micro. And on 36, we're going to be using last on the destroyer. I'll do that a little bit here and there, because that way it will target the bottom lane instead of the other lanes that it's closer by. So if I did not do that, the pink balloons on the bottom lane would just sneak by. Anyways, the rest of the round with pickle, the destroyer is pretty easy, and I'm going to out buff it to beat around 40, and then after that I'm going to work on my discounts. Alright, so because I'm doing water start, I'm going to have to be very careful when it comes to like the placements of the villages and the super monkeys, because you have to keep in mind I can't use Geraldo cape on these, so I'm going to have to be using full hitbox super monkeys, and I'm looking to get in 2 villages, because if I miss out on the discounts, I'm going to be losing a lot of money. So what I kind of decided to do here is that I'm going to get one super in the middle and then one kind of off to the side a bit. So I'm just going to sneak these 2 discounts in right there, because I don't really have to get many other towers. It's alright that I not cut off some of the space right here. I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe that, but just adding more pickles to beat some of these hard rounds, and then we can get the camo village up there early, just so that we save a little bit of money. Not having to buy another camo pot, we're definitely going to need that way later on, so we'll just get that there, and then we'll get the super monkey, we'll get the snowstorm. I got that a little bit early, then like a little bit before the second discount village, just because I couldn't really beat 47 well. Actually, no, I think it was 45 well, because there's some weird thing with the purple balloons and the hot shots. Obviously, that would not happen if I went for the lead sniper, but that's alright, we got through it. And then we get the 2 villages, the drums, and the camo, and kind of here, we're doing pretty well. I'm not going to have to spend a whole lot of Geraldo's items, because we have like pretty strong towers now. We got kind of past the hard part where we really had to save up tons of money to get the ice with just one little destroyer. That's always a little bit tricky. But now I got the Robo Monkey, and we're kind of chilling on 36. No, not 36. On round 63, I'm gonna have to glue. I kind of made a little bit of a mistake on round 63, because I spent way more money than I had to. If I had just used Snowstorm on the first wave, then I could have put a glue down on the intersection, and it would have enough pierce to get everything. So I just wasted like $110 there. Not that bad. And then well, it's like not that bad of a loss. And then I wasted another $110 a little bit earlier, because I could have just snowstormed around, I think it was around 53 or around 52, instead of buying a pickle on the super monkey. So that's not terrible, but just a few little mistakes. Then I get the second super in both discounts, and I'm kind of like right here, I'm kind of trying to look for possible priority buffs, with the way that this is set up and like the way that hitboxes work, I was actually really surprised that I got 2 perfect priority buffs on both super monkeys. So I could just put 3-2 Alex on them, and they'll like helped out the super monkeys a lot. That was actually really surprising. I thought I would have to do like a 4-2 Alk on a Snorm, and then it would then put the rest of the buff on the super monkey. I've had to do that before a lot on Ouch, just because some of these placements, especially when you're using giant hitbox towers like super monkeys, they can be really difficult. So that's kind of one advantage to the land start. But this ended up working out well, and it actually helped me a lot. I didn't really have to spend much money. I got the buffs on the super monkeys, and I could just go on. So now, not really much is happening right here. These robos are really strong in the mid game, and we're just going to be able to go right into tech tears. I'm not going to have to spend any money on pickles or blues to beat some of these what normally would be harder rounds in the late 70s, just because these super monkeys are just so good. And honestly, spamming robo monkeys is a very underrated strategy. It's especially really good with the Geraldo cape.
No!
But, this one, we're going to be doing tech terrors because the massive synergy with the tech terrors and the rejuve potions. You'll see that a bit later. You'll see it's really strong. But we're just pushing through. Not really much happens here through there. So I'll kind of just skip over to when we actually do stuff. Alright, it is 82. We have kind of saved it for the second tech terror, but it's time to get downdraft. The downdraft micro, honestly, here isn't fancy. I was prepared to stall if I needed to, but I ended up not needing to have to stall at all, which is pretty cool, I guess. The abilities worked out, and it was pretty good. So we got that. I don't think I used a pickle kind of here in the mid game because I just didn't have to. But in the later rounds, I'm gonna have to put the pickles onto the tech tears just to get them extra damage. We're going to get a Moab glue up here. I'm gonna do a 1-3 with the primary training, just to give it an extra pierce, and I'm gonna put the camo potion on that, of course, so it can see the camo. Well, not see the camo, but to give it bigger range, because I already have the camo, but I'm going to do that on the other super monkeys too, because that potion actually gives bigger range, which can help a lot, and a lot of times, especially on a map like this, where that extra range can really help take down a ZOMG much earlier, so you can use the nuke ability of the Tech Terror, just a little bit of stuff that helps. I'm going to get the Sabo, and that's kind of going to help on like around like 96. It helps a lot when on 96, a little bit on 98, not really much, but particularly 95, which is definitely a hard round to deal with, especially a strategy like this where the power is based on the ability. Some of these rounds are pretty easy going into 92, but 94 is kind of where we're going to have to do stuff. I also got Sharpstone on the boat, because why not? It does actually a pretty decent amount of damage, so that's nice. And of course, I'm just going to continue doing the downdraft micro. Nothing really that fancy right there. So you'll see that I kind of use these tech terror abilities at the end, and that's because I kind of wait for the ZOMGs to get down, so we can kind of like nuke everything all at once. You don't really want to use them at the start, because then you just have to deal with a ton of Moabs, and that's not nice. So you want to just get stuff down and then clear everything at once. They have really good pierce and really good damage, which is really nice, so you can use that well. And round 95's here. I'm going to pop that rejuve and use the tech terror abilities. It's just enough to get by. Also something pretty cool, if you did not know, if you give AMD to a snowstorm with the bottom cross path, you will still be able to freeze DVTs. Pretty cool trick that I use a lot. Anyways, we are moving on around 95, just using the stalls and stuff, and then again we're going to nuke the insides of these BFBs, like right here. Very cool. The first one didn't really do much, but the second one there did a lot. That's cool. And then I'm going to Sabo just to take down both of these ZOMGs. First one goes down, and then the second one will go down there too. 98's a really cool one. Yeah, I don't even need a genie for this round. Just have to watch this. It's really fun. Bam. There's the first one. Snowstorm there. Second one down. And literally the entire round of 98 is gone. And then that's that part. For around 99, I'm gonna need a genie, of course, so we get that down with the snowstorm and Sabo. Pretty easy. And then 100, all I need is one rejuve, just with some good timing. We'll get that, we'll rejuve the abilities back, and this is gonna pop open. Gonna snowstorm Sabo, take out the DDTs, get the ZMGs down, and there we go. So not only took 38 minutes, pretty easy, 45,000 cash there, and only 3.5 out of 10 difficulty. So that's really it for kind of a more advanced run. Well, that's all. If you haven't watched each box video, I'll put the link to that in the description, and have a good day. If you did watch it,
Oops, sold early.
The videos here. Bye.
Be done completely without a blockchain, but that would make it possible for admins to fix bad decisions. Because it's on the blockchain, those votes are autonomously accepted without any human input. And of course, if one individual had 51% of the currency, they would have complete control of the organization, and there's nothing anyone else could do to stop them. So one of the most common arguments for NFTs in video games is that having the NFT of the item is immutable proof that you own that item. This, in theory, would allow you to move that item to any other game on the blockchain, but that doesn't make any sense. The only reason that an NFT has any meaning in the game is because the game was coded to recognize that token on the blockchain and then assign the appropriate in-game model to that token. There's absolutely nothing stopping the developers from changing how that token is rendered in the game, and there's nothing within the token that inherently demands it has to be displayed as the same model in every game. Not to mention that games have different engines and wouldn't even support a model from another game right out of the box. Right now, you can't take your items from Decentraland and use them in another game. And when Decentraland goes offline for good, all of your NFTs will be completely worthless. Unless another game decides to accept the Decentraland tokens. But why would another game even want to accept Decentraland tokens? The developer would just be better off inventing their own token, where they could then collect revenue directly as they sell it to the players. There's really no value in allowing players to use tokens from other games, even if they accepted a transaction fee. It's just not good business. Now, there is one aspect about Decentraland that does benefit from cryptocurrency. Decentraland players may be from all across the world, and there's no need to worry about any exchange rate currency conversions, paying taxes, or obeying sanctions, since they just use cryptocurrency for all the transactions. Cryptocurrency allows Decentraland to ignore all regulations regarding consumer protection and providing refunds to players as well. I found an example in the Decentraland Discord where a player experienced a glitch where their plot of land was sold for way less than they intended. An admin then responded telling the player that, well, there's no central Decentraland authority, so you have to write a petition to the DAO and see if they're interested in rolling back that purchase. This unfortunately makes purchasing items in Decentraland unnecessarily risky, and the past 30 years of improvements in consumer protection laws.
And we did it.